Welcome once again to our tutorial on HTML5 for beginners. So in our last class we talked about the tools that we'll be needing in order to develop our projects. We did some other introduction on web development and the rest. So today we'll be talking specifically on the tools. So we have two major tools that we'll be talking about today and we'll be using for our development. So we have the web browser. From our last class we already talked about what a web browser is, and I gave you an example of some web browsers, right? So the web browser we'll be using for this course is Firefox Developer Edition, right? Then the text editor we'll be using for this course is the VS Code. That's the Visual Studio Code, right? So let's get on to how we are going to get this web browser in our system. Remember, we talked about Firefox, right? But now the version or the edition of Firefox we'll be using is the Firefox Developers Edition. So we won't be using the other edition. This one is specifically built for developers like you would soon be. Okay, all right, so let's delve into it right now. Okay, so when you come to your browser, I don't know the one you have, either Chrome or Mozilla or Safari, depending on the OS you're working with. But whichever other browser you have, if you're working on Windows, you have Edge already by Microsoft. So you can use your Edge, then type in Firefox Developer Edition. All right. So you see this page over here. Then select this one, because this is the one we are going to be working with. All right. So wait for it to load. Then one thing is that this edition helps us in debugging. It also helps us in assessing some contents of our code and also running some parts of our code on the browser and seeing the outcome right on the browser, right? So now with this Firefox edition, we'll be seeing how useful it will be to us on the long run. All right. So when you now get to the page, this is the home page. To download this Firefox, you have to click on this button over here. All right. Then when you click on that button, on this one here, the Firefox will start downloading. So you see download your system. But then when it downloads, you will have to install it. So you need your data on, right? You need to be connected to the internet in order to download it from online. So it's just a click, double click on the file. All right, then it will get installed in your system. All right, so when you scroll down on this page over here, you see some of the features of this Firefox. All right, I guess these are the things you can read for yourself. Okay, see all the latest developer tools in beta plus experimental features like the multi-line console editor and WebSocket inspector. All right, so with this browser, you can easily experiment on some things on your website, all right, without having to go through some other rigorous approaches to do that. So now we have a separate profile and path so that I can easily run it alongside the release of beta Firefox. Then preferences, you see, it's tailored for web developers. So some of the other features it has there are inactive CSS. So when you write some CSS that does not have any effect on your website, you can be able to see them from here, and then with some suggestions on what you should do. All right, then we'll talk more about that when we get to CSS part of the course. So we also have the dev tools where we'll be working with the console, especially when you're working with JavaScript, or you also work with the inspectors to inspect the elements or the particular section of your website. We have the network aspect, the debugger, and the rest. All right, so with time we'll soon get to do all or some of them. Right, so we have the innovative CSS grid. So all these ones are tools that are tailored to guide you through while working with your CSS. You have the fonts panel and the rest. So you can take your time and go through all this. So when you must have clicked on this and your download is complete, you go to your download folder. You will see the software over there. So now we are on my download folder, and as you can see, I have the Firefox already downloaded here, and I've already installed it. All right. So for those of us that don't know how to install a software, the basic thing you need to do is to right click on the particular software that you want to install. All right. Then I don't know why the system is taking time. But then you open or run as an administrator, then click on run. All right. So it will require you to give it permission, so that you should grant. Then just like that, your software will start installing. All right. So this will continue installing till it is complete. Okay. So and once the installation is complete, it will automatically open up your Firefox software for you. All right. To open up the browser for you with some other web pages. Now, mind you, remember I said you should make sure you install this with your PC connected to an internet source. All right. So I'll have to pause the video here till the installation is complete. So as you can see from here, our Firefox is downloaded completely. All right. Okay. So we'll be using this browser to display the contents of our website as time goes on. Okay, so that's just it on installing Firefox. So next we'll talk about installation of VS Code. Okay, bye and see you in the next class.